ready to go? Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we're in Treaty 1 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. My name is Ron Merritt. I'll be your chairperson this morning, and introducing the panel members. To my left is Mr. Ivan DeLego, and to his left, Sandy Tapper. And representing the city of Winnipeg from the assessment department is Tanya Sharp, and our recording secretary is Belen Rowe-Poe. Just to give you a little introduction, we'll be hearing application for the revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested has been described in each application and will limit discussions to those matters. The statements that the applicants and the assessor make at the hearing are sworn testimony, and anybody speaking in the matters must be sworn in. Please be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the board. The board is appointed annually by City Council and is independent of it, along with the city administration. We make our decisions based on the evidence provided at the hearing and issue a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decision in respect to the application may be appealed to the municipal board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to application for exemption from taxation. Should you wish to appeal further, information on how to do so will be included in the board's order. In respects to the hearing this morning, we will confirm the matters to be addressed with each applicant. Following the swearing in, we'll then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions from each party or your applicants. And then it'll be the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have the opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all evidence about the application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket this morning. The session will close after all applications has been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the order by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live stream recorded and will be part of the public record. I'll ask our secretary to swear in the assessor, and we will begin.
Please state your full name.
Tanya Lynn Sharp.
And you swear the evidence about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Well, we welcome you all. We will first deal with a couple of recommendations that are on the docket here. And we will deal firstly with Grassy Boulevard, 482 Grassy Boulevard. Okay. There's a recommendation on your property. Okay. Are you aware of the recommendation at all?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about. All I've been getting is piles of paper and I don't even read.
Yes.
Okay.
I spoke with the gentleman and provided him his recommendation, and he indicated he would still like to come.
Okay.
Yes.
So in other words, okay, we'll have you come forward and get sworn in. And if your wife is gonna give evidence, she can come too. She can sit there too. No? No evidence? Okay. Okay, come on around to the side there and we'll get you sworn in.
I don't know how much it is. My memory and my hearing is failing very heavy.
Well, we'll try to speak very loudly then.
As long as I don't forget.
Please state your full name.
Henry Lovell.
And you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
The best of my abilities.
Thank you. I can take a seat.
Oh, yes.
The assessor is going to talk about this right now.
Okay, Mr. Lowen, right?
Oh, okay.
Mr. Lowen?
Right.
Okay. The procedure this morning, there's a recommendation, I think, from the city. I think the assessed value on your property, they have it at $390,000, okay? There's a recommendation on it to reduce the assessment to 370. Okay, are you in agreement with that figure, or do you wish to hear what the assessor has, and then it'll be your presentation to say, I'm not in agreement, or this is the figure that I'm after?
The assessment, I read that and I know more or less what it is, but I haven't got a clue what that means in monetary value.
Okay, but all we deal with here is the assessed value. It's got a bearing on taxes, but we're not talking about taxes, okay? Which is related to the assessed value, okay? But here at the board, we can only we don't deal with taxes, we deal with the assessed value, okay? So.
I think possibly I'm at the wrong place.
No. Okay, so I think, under the circumstances, what we'll do is we'll have the assessor do their presentation in regards to what value they have. You may ask questions along with the board members, and then you can do your presentation in regards to say, my taxes are too high, or my assessment is too high, and what the figure should be. Is that fair?
I don't know how one,
Okay. We'll first hear from the assessment department.
Right.
They will go through their presentation, and I think you have a copy of it, okay? So, Ms. Sharp,
Okay,
whenever you're ready.
okay, perfect. The subject property is parcel ID 040046 23000, which is 482 Grossi Boulevard. This property is a one-story property built in 1964. It's 1,166 square feet, has a full basement and basement finish, has 2 bathrooms and central air. It has an attached garage, and this property is on a lot size of 87,371 square feet, which is approximately 2 acres, just to give you a rounded figure. This property is located right on Grossi Boulevard. I'm not sure if you're aware of it. It's in the north eastern corner of the city, and there is quite a traffic flow on Grossi towards the perimeter. And this area of the city has no sewer, no water. So this particular property, because it is 2 acres, it does have a septic field, but it does not have any city services for septic, okay? We currently have it assessed at $390,000. I did go out and do a full inspection on this property, interior, exterior of the building, reviewed the building, and after reviewing everything and taking a look at the comparables, we are prepared to reduce it to $370,000. Okay. Now, it is difficult to get comparables because of the size of the property that's involved here. So the comparables have come from areas surrounding the Grossi area. First of all, you can see on the second page behind it, there is a picture of the rear of the building, the front of the building, and this is a picture of the garage, which is now used as a shed. I did do an interior inspection. I found that it was in good repair, but very original. So there haven't been an awful lot of updates to the property, other than maintaining it to good quality. Okay. Also, I wanted to indicate, if you look at the map just behind the pictures, you can see it gives you a little bit more idea of the Grossi area. So the subject property is right in the center with the 2-acre parcel. Okay. There are 3 vacant properties very close to this property. One on the extreme right, that's 43,690 square feet, so about an acre. One to the left of the subject property, which again is approximately 1 acre. And then there is a vacant parcel, which is about a quarter or so about a half of an acre, just under half of an acre. And I wanted to point out that area that is highlighted, that property used to be a 2-acre property. In 2013, that property was subdivided and sold to Global Homes from the homeowner. The homeowner has remained on that area that says $331,000. That's their assessed value of their home. They sold the highlighted area, so that vacant property and all those lots behind it, sold for $135,000. Okay, just to give you an indication, what they had done is purchased it, extended Williamson Crescent in order to build 10 new homes in that area. Okay, so I just wanted to point out that most of the properties in this area are not 2 acres. When I spoke with the homeowner, he indicated he would really like to keep it as 2 acres because that's the only way he can keep his septic field. If he goes below the 2 acres and subdivides it off, they have to go to a tank, which is not anything that he's interested in doing. But the property, from my indication, the house is located on the front left corner. So it could be divided similarly to the property that was subdivided down the street. Okay, not that he wants to, he's not interested in subdividing the property at all. Okay, so I did some comparable properties. As I indicated, it's a little difficult because of the size of the property. The first comparable's in Kelowna Park. It's a little bit newer, a little bit larger, but it is a 1-acre property. It's got heavy traffic and no sewer. So it's located on a road that is a little bit heavier traffic than the homeowners, and sold for $400,000 in November of 2015. The second property is also in Kelowna Park. It's on Knowles Avenue, and that property is a 1965 property, but it has been updated. Similar size to the property, or similar size to the subject property, and also as far as the land, it's just a little bit smaller. It looks like it's lost its just under half of the acre, and it sold for $365,000 in October 13. The next property is located in Peguis, which is on 1418 Ravelston. This property is a 1964, pretty much similar. It's got similar size, similar age. The condition is very similar to that property, although it is only 22,000 square feet. So it is only half an acre versus a 2-acre property. Sold for $330,000 in May of 14. The Symington Road property in Transcona South, again, is a 1960s property, updated a little bit. It is just slightly smaller in size to the property, and the lot size, again, is just a little bit over a half an acre, sold for $308,000. So what I did is I took that $135,000 sale price, figured it out by square footage, and it looks like that if he was, if the homeowner was to go and sell off 1 acre, it would be about $85,000 if you base it on the per square footage price of the neighbor that sold for $135,000. So I did have to take into consideration that that part of the lot did have to have some value to it. Although the homeowner wants to keep it for sewer, it does have some value if it was to be sold. Okay. We did take a look at it, as I indicated, based on the comparable properties. I was prepared to drop it down to $370,000, and I feel that that is reflective of the property itself. Plus, you know, if he was able to subdivide an additional piece of property from it. So asking that you accept $370,000.
That's it, Ms. Sharp?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Lowen, do you have any questions regards to what you just heard from the assessment department? Any questions?
Well, some of those places, Knowles and that prestigious property compared to where I live. The house next door to me sold for, I don't know exactly, but I've heard prices from $250,000 and a little bit up. I really haven't talked to the people, they're new people, I've never met them. but that's what I hear from the neighbors.
Do you have anything further to, questions in regards to what you just heard?
Other than, it's.
We're gonna get you, we'll give you a chance, shortly to do your presentation, okay? But we're just doing questions right now from the assessor. So, anything
I
further?
think she's done a good job so far.
Okay, okay. Mr. Delego?
Questions of the assessor?
Yes.
One question. The average per square foot on your comps comes out to $294. I was wondering, could you not apply that to the, if you applied it to gentleman's property, it would come down below the 370. Was there any reason why they wouldn't come?
There was, because the lot sizes are significantly different. He's got a 2-acre property. Comparable 1, which sold at $265, is a 1-acre property, and comparable 3, which sold at $293, is only a 1/2-acre property. So in my opinion, it was the property that added some value in this particular case. So although our sheet does give price per square foot, I also had to take into consideration the value of the property.
Thank you.
Yep.
Stacker?
I have no questions, thank you.
Okay. I have just a few questions. I guess, in looking at your comparable sales, the only recent sale that you have is 2015. All the rest of them are old. There's a 13, there's a 14, there's another 13. So nothing current?
Not in this size of property. Comparable 1 and 3 are in the reference period, and comparable 2 and 4 are just slightly before the reference period.
I guess the other thing is that it's a 2-acre parcel, is it not?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm just looking at ages and similar size, and the one on Revelstoke, it sold for 330 in 330,000 in 2014.
Right.
But it doesn't really compare. It compares in regards to the subject, except for the land.
Correct.
Okay, so would you say, what is the excess land worth?
Basically, I couldn't tell you what it would be worth, but that's why I included this sale. The sale that took place two doors down sold for $135,000, which worked out, but that was for 72,000 acres, okay? So I worked that out, and when I multiplied it back out just to 1 acre, it was about 85,000. So 1 acre would be equivalent to 85. Also, the assessment, I mean, I know we can't compare assessments, but there are 3 vacant properties on this with different assessments on them. One is small but located right on Grossi Street. The other is a vacant property that has no access to the rear of 448 and 470 Grossi. Right at the rear there has no access. And the other is a 1 acre property 4 lots down, and they're all assessed between 134 and 160. So I mean, I think I'm being fairly generous when I'm saying 1 acre would be equal to 85,000. I think that's probably a very generous estimation.
So you had said there's no sewer
No,
and no water?
no,
Okay, so they have a well system?
yes,
Well system, and they have a septic field?
yes. And the same with the comparables, all have no sewer, no water on them.
And these are current pictures,
Yes,
I would say, the
Yeah, they were-
31st of last month?
yes, July 31st, they were taken, yes.
I'm just looking at your page 25, and I see the yellow,
Okay.
okay? So these two lots here, there's
Correct.
houses on them?
Yes,
Okay, so this was subdivided,
yes.
okay, so they could probably punch through this way?
Would be,
Possibly.
yeah, that, I mean, I
Okay.
don't know, but I
Yeah.
know that this part on Williamson was just done in 2013.
Yeah,
So I would think that it could be possible,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean, I can't predict that. But I also do know that several of the 2-acre parcels were split up and down, and the second side sold for acreage. Most of them in that area are the 1-acre lots.
so is that
rather
a
than
dead-end
two.
street then at, I think it's Williams Crescent?
Williams Crescent, yes.
Okay.
Yes, they actually opened that up when they built in those new houses.
Paved road, you
Yes.
know? Yeah,
Paved
sewer and
roads.
water?
Yes, sewer and water, nice houses. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I thank you. Mr. Lowen, it is now your opportunity to present your evidence and tell us what you think the assessed value should be.
Assessing is a part of things for my trade type of thing, but with all the traffic there, I know people have been trying to sell there for over 4 years, some of them probably 5 or 6 years. You wouldn't even get a bite on Grassy Boulevard with all the traffic coming off that new bridge here. I think that street almost compares to Region as far as traffic goes.
What do you think the assessed value should be?
Monetary wise, it's gone up $1,000 or at least $800 in taxes.
Yeah, but
And I
like I
don't-
say, Mr. Lowen, we have nothing to do with taxes
Yeah,
here.
I know, but that's
okay?
what I'm trying to.
Okay, I know you're trying to relate that way, okay?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the only way I can relate it.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about assessment.
okay, well,
Everybody's
did
assessment
you ever
is
have,
different.
did you ever have somebody come around or an appraiser or, you know, the people that bought the other lots there, did they ever approach you about, you know, selling or anything like that? And did they,
Not in the last 50 years,
not in the last 50 years? And how long have you been there?
55.
55, okay. So, quite a change, eh?
Well, like I say, compared to my income and the taxes, I gotta go somewhere, do something,
Yeah.
or start growing something which is coming legal now.
So did you bring with you today any,
Just the tax bills and that, I'm
Okay,
comparing with
okay.
what you see, you don't want that.
so help the panel. Can you give us a ballpark figure what your property is maybe worth?
As much as possible, I don't know. I'll
Okay.
never get it.
Okay. Well, you know, if you want to state something for the record, that's fine. If you don't, you know, if you don't feel comfortable with that, that is fine.
There's been no maintenance on the ditches, and the streets is a racetrack up till 2:30 in the morning.
There's ditches there. There's ditches along there. Ditches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, which haven't been cleaned. People are dropping their
Yeah, trash.
trash in there as they go by.
Is it hard topped at all, or like asphalted, or anything like
The
that?
street is asphalt.
Okay, yeah. So, I think we'll just see if the assessor has any questions in regards to Mr. Lowe.
Yeah, no further
Okay.
questions. We had a good conversation.
Okay, Mr. DeLego,
No, I have no questions.
Ms. Packer?
No questions.
All right, you want to leave it with us, Mr. Lowen, and we'll, you know, make a decision,
Well,
and we'll give you results?
I have to hope it's in good hands, so I will have to leave it.
Okay, okay. So
Anything I see, I mean,
okay. So I thank you then for your appearance this morning, and results shortly. So thank you for coming this morning, and you'll get results in the mail.
what's that house next door to it? Us mentioned what it sold for.
Um,
You mentioned a bunch over 300,000. House next to me was 200,000.
The house right next to you, it's assessed at 280,000, but the sale that took place was actually an estate sale, so there was no sale value on record. It was what the land titles office calls a dollar sale. It was transferred from family member to somebody related, I believe. So they didn't actually do that. It was sworn at 280,000, but I believe that's because that was the assessment value. So the lawyers often use the assessment value as the sworn value. So I couldn't tell you what value actually changed hands, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it was through the family or through an estate or something like that. So I don't know the exact value.
Just don't know of any houses selling over 300,000 on our street. Well, not, I shouldn't say our street, my area of the street, where there is no sewer, no water, and no maintenance of ditches or drainage. It all seems to drain into my yard, and then I gotta look after it. I wish that guy was still alive next door. We burned like 4 pumps trying to keep his place dry. He's complaining to me, or his pump's burning out,
Yeah,
pumping on my property.
yeah.
Because the neighbors, you never want to complain about these things, but they're not here anymore.
Yeah. It's bad. Okay, Mr. Lowen, thank you for coming, and results very soon.
I hope the best.
Okay, I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go to Castleberry Meadows Drive. And Kurt, you can come forward and we'll have you sworn in. I know you had talked to our girl at the very front there about maybe give it evidence or not give it evidence, so we'll either have you sworn in or affirmed. And
Yes, you have the option on that one. Okay, please state your comment.
Great Santos.
And you affirm the evidence you got presented to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Do you have any evidence you'd like to share with the panel today?
At this time, no.
Okay.
good morning, sir.
Good morning.
There's a recommendation on your property. Are you aware of the recommendation?
No, sir.
Pardon me?
No.
No? Is there,
Is
no, I'm
No.
sorry, there's not a recommendation,
He
okay?
said it was accepted, but there's
Okay.
no rec on Castleberry.
I thought there was.
Mr. Mayor, excuse me, there's 2 addresses on Castleberry. Which one are we doing?
We're doing 641.
641,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, the other individual's not here.
Okay.
All right. So, you're aware of the procedure, so let's hear from the assessor and we'll swing that way and then it'll be your opportunity.
Sounds good.
Okay? Ms. Sharp?
Okay, the subject property is 14-100-127-435, 641 Castleberry Meadow Drive, located in 327, which is the North Inkster Industrial Area. It's a 2-story, single-family dwelling. It was built in 2017, 1842 square feet, a full basement, no basement finish, and has an attached garage of approximately 500 square feet. Located on a standard lot size of 4,489. We currently have this property assessed at $387,000 for the 2019 assessment roll. There are 4 comparable properties that I have used. Comparable number 2 and number 4 are probably the most comparable, as they are both on Castleberry Meadows, both Inkster Industrial Area. They are, however, about 200 square feet smaller than the subject property, and they also have light traffic on them, which means the traffic is a little bit heavier than a normal traffic flow. The garages are slightly smaller on both of those properties. Comparable number 2 on 51 Castleberry sold for $353,000 in February 2016. And comparable number 4, 47 Castleberry, sold for $364,000 in September of 2015. Both of these were first-time sales, so those properties, those sale prices generally do not include GST or any upgrades that have taken place. Okay, the other 2 properties that I've used for comparable, As Castlebrook Meadows is a newer area and there are very few house sales in this area during the reference period. The other two comparables are located in the Rossero Kildonan area, both two-story, both 2015, both very close square footage at 1824 and 1884. Both garages are about 440 square feet, same size lot, sold for comparable number one sold for $363,000 in September of 15, and comparable number 3 sold for $419,000 in May of 2015. We feel the comparable properties support the assessment, which is actually significantly lower than those comparable properties, and we're making a recommendation to have no change to the 2019 assessment.
Thank you. Mr. Santos, any questions in regards to what you've heard from the assessor?
No, seems
No?
pretty straightforward.
Okay, Mr. DeLego?
No.
Ms. Snapper?
No, I have no questions, thank you.
Okay. Our reference year is, our V-Day is April the 1st, 2016?
2016, yes.
Okay. So I noticed that you have a sale in here, which is in 2017?
Correct, it's a
So
post-reference sale,
It's post-reference, eh?
yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Santos, we're ready for your presentation?
Okay, what struck me the most and why I wanted to appeal and come to hearing is the square footage, which is off from my plan. When I first purchased the dwelling, the square footage advertised is equivalent to 1,775 square footage. And that's one of the items that I wanted to question. In Miss Sharp's assessed square footage, it's sitting at 1,842 square footage, which is quite different from when I had purchased it. But if I can recall correctly, in 2015, there was a couple of sales that I'm aware of within the same area, address 87 and 71. Unfortunately, I don't have any records of that, but we can certainly pull that at some point in time. 87 and 71 Castleberry, which is similar dwellings to my home, was purchased between the ranges of $360,000 to $370,000 in 2015.
So I noticed on the page, okay, 37 from the assessment department, you've done some figures on the side here?
Those are my figures.
Oh, those are your figures?
Correct. I have spoken with the gentleman by phone and sent him an email explaining the difference in the square footage based on the stairs, and he still chose to come.
So that's the problem with the stairs?
Yeah.
That's why they're out?
A
So
lot of the builders don't include the stairs in the square footage. We do square footage on the outside of the building.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. There are probably 3 or 4 builders in the city that do not include the stairs from the first story to the second story in their square footage. You can see on the second page where it shows the second story, the property's 29 by 31, which is 899 square feet, and they're showing a square footage of 832, so they're eliminating the square. So we don't.
So that's where the discrepancy is?
Correct.
Okay. So, in a multiple listing, you would probably list a higher figure, would you not?
Yeah, a lot of the multiple
Okay.
listings are listed this way though. They are listed lower. Usually, a real estate agent has been trained to do the outside square
Yeah,
footage,
it's
but,
always been, around the entire,
yeah,
area.
yeah. And it is quite a confusing issue, and there are only some builders that do it. Most builders do include the stairs, but some builders do not.
Mr. Santos, so what do you think the value should be?
Well, I know we're not supposed to use
Assessed value?
assessed values, but there is a home.
But that's a starting point.
There is a home within the same area. If you don't mind, I'll just pull my records.
You haven't got anything in writing, for us or
No,
anything
sir.
like that? No, okay. So it's just a verbal presentation,
Yes.
but you're under oath, so that's fine.
So again, I know we're not supposed to use this, but 657 Castleberry Meadows Drive, which is almost similar to the dwellings in question, is assessed at $376,000. It's got a bigger lot. The only difference is apparently I have one more room higher, which is 8
See,
versus
the
7.
problem with using the assessed value, it's a jumping off point, it's where you start. But
Correct.
basically, sometimes, what you just mentioned could be appealed. So it could be incorrect,
Mhm.
okay? So, the way they do assessments is market value, and that is what's sold,
Correct.
okay?
Yes.
So, but I can see that, is this the purchase of your house in 2017?
Yes.
Okay. So, what do you believe the assessment should be? Like the assessment that the city have is 387,000. Okay. So, what do you believe the assessment should be for the reference year, which is April the 1st, 2016?
Well, I'll put it this way. It was purchased in 2017 and it reached that value because of the fact that we've added upgrades on it. We've gotten speakers and all that. Nothing fancy, really. So that kind of drove the price up. Initially, when we purchased the house, base value of $83,000. So I would assess my house at $83,000.
387?
383.
I'm sorry?
383.
383? Which is close to what the assessed value is.
Yes,
Okay. So,
no argument there.
okay. So roughly speaking, $1,000 worth of value is roughly $25 in taxes. So we're talking 75 bucks.
Sure.
Okay, or taxes, roughly. Okay. And that's your presentation, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Sharp, any questions?
I do. I'm sorry, you said the base price on your home was
383 as indicated on my email to you.
that you paid $383?
No, the base price of the home, if nothing was added. is
Okay.
383.
Okay. So the base price was $383. Okay, and what was the cost of or what kind of upgrades did you have in your
I
property?
installed some speaker. I put in air conditioning. We installed the skeleton for the basement. Roughing, to be exact, including electrical.
Okay, and can you tell me approximately what the value of those upgrades was?
Top of my head, $15,000.
Okay. So when it states the $419,275, that's the total price you paid, including upgrades and GST, and that's the price you paid?
I would say so, yes.
Okay, including GST? Okay. Okay, no further questions?
Ms. Tapper?
I have no questions.
Mr. DeLego?
Just one. Sale price 2017, 419, and the new assessed value is 387. I'm confused as to why did it go down from what you paid? You did pay
I love the
419.
area. What is the fact that sold it to me. Now, if we were to sell it to, if we were to put the market, the house in the market, I think I would have a very challenging time to recover what I had paid for it.
That's all I have.
Either party wants summation at all? No? Mr. Santos, final word? Okay. Thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you.
And the results within maybe a week or 2
Sure.
weeks, 10 days, something like that.
Sounds
So
good.
thank you very kindly,
Thank you.
and have a good day,
You too.
and you'll get the results in the mail.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to, we're a little out of order, but we're gonna go to Harold Avenue West, 304. So come on forward here.
Swear or affirm.
Sure. Swear.
Please state your full name.
Sure, if I got you.
And you swear the evidence about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Do you have any evidence to the camera?
Yes, sir.
So Troy, you're aware of the proceedings? So we'll first hear from the assessor in regards to how they determine the value for your property. Ms. Sharp, whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the subject property is 0900-444-2500, 304 Harold Avenue West, located in area 408 Radisson. It is a one-story, single-family dwelling, built in 1961, 924 square feet, with a full basement finish. It has a detached garage that was built about 1960, 300 square feet. It is on a lot size of 3,999 square feet. We have an assessed value of $246,000 on that property for 2019. The comparable properties were all taken from the Radisson area. They're all one-story properties, all ranging between 1959, 1961, all in the low 900 square foot size, all full basement, all basement finish of around the same size, all similar properties for garage. The only difference is comparable number 3 has no garage on it at all. But in that age, the garage is not a huge value. Now those 4 comparables sold between $245,000 and $252,000 between July of 2014 and July of 2015. They're running in price adjusted square footage is running at about $266 per square foot to $276 per square foot. The comparable property is right in line, the subject property is right in line with the comparable properties. And we feel that those comparables support the assessment at $246,000, and we're asking for no change.
All right, thank you. Questions of the assessor?
No, because I didn't have a list of comparable properties that she used beforehand, I wasn't able to review them and see if there were any differences I wanted to question, so.
Ms. Tapper, any questions?
Did you have an opportunity to go out and inspect the property?
No, I didn't, but the property was listed on the MLS with interior pictures as well, so I do have a fairly good idea of what the property looks like.
So what would you say about, excuse me, the condition of the property?
I would say it's probably average. The updates that are showing in the MLS to the property are showing that the bath was upgraded and the flooring, so the main floor has all new laminate flooring and the basement has carpet. I can read this. It says perfect first-time buyer or a family starting out. This is a solid bungalow ready to be moved into. Main floor features a large, bright living room eat-in kitchen with plenty of counter space and cabinets, 2 bedrooms including the master, and a 5-piece bathroom, fully finished basement complete with a 3rd bedroom, 3-piece bath, and a large rec room that'll accommodate your family and entertaining needs. And they've indicated that the bathroom has been remodeled.
Thank you.
I just noticed the comparables that you used are very good. There's a very close range, okay, before you do any time adjustments, so I commend you, for that. Okay, Troy, we're ready for your presentation?
Certainly.
Okay.
So one aspect that didn't really, wasn't really taken into account by that
Can you speak a little louder?
sorry. One aspect of that advertisement that wasn't taken into account of was that the previous owners of about 4 to 5 years tenancy didn't keep up with the other ongoing maintenance of the property. So for instance, the roof was in disrepair. There was a large crack in the garage floor. The slab is heaved. The front steps have detached from the house and have sunken by about 4 inches. The fence had been falling down. There was a lot of other issues that just hadn't been addressed, which affected the sale price of the home. So what I have in evidence here is the previous sale value, as she used on her assessment, was $200,000 in 2012. And then the purchase price for the home in 2017 was $219,900. So 5-year time increment, $20,000 in appreciation. So the 2016 value should then fall in between those 2 ranges. Otherwise, my property devalued by $25,000 in the year after this assessment when I purchased it.
So the problem is that we have a reference year,
Yes, no, absolutely.
Okay, so you bought it in June,
Yes.
is that correct?
Yes, June of 2017.
And when was possession date, Troy?
June 10th, 2017.
June 10th?
Yep.
So when was the property transacted then? That was possession date?
Yes.
When?
So that's when funds changed hands through the bank.
Okay.
Yep.
So, what do you feel as if the value should be for the reference year?
For the reference here, well, as
You're saying 220?
No, I'd say closer to 218.
I'm sorry?
I would say closer to 218.
218?
Simply because by her own assessment, the property has been appreciating year to year. It's not a downward trend into 2016, and it certainly hasn't changed into 2017. So changing the extrapolation estimated price based on other homes in the area into an interpolation between the 2 known sale prices, I would say that it should fall within that range.
The sharp questions of the appellant?
Yes. You indicated that there were some issues with the property at the time you purchased it.
Yes.
Some of them, crack in the garage floor, detached from the steps, that's shifting, that's pretty standard. That happens with most properties,
Absolutely.
my own property included.
Sorry, all I meant by that was that I couldn't compare it to your other comparables to see what state theirs was in, just that would have affected the sale
Okay,
price.
well, they're all in the same area, so what I would assume, if you're having those problems, probably those people are having similar problems as well. Okay, have you done any upgrades or repaired any of these issues or done any work on the property since you purchased it?
Certainly, I reshingled the roof last summer.
Okay, and how much did that cost?
That was in the $1,000 to $2,000 range. However, I believe by my own invitation to this party, it said that regular repairs and reshingling was specifically listed on there shouldn't affect the assessment.
Right, so then the fact that the shingles were in poor repair at the time you purchased it shouldn't be an issue?
The only counterpoint to that is that it would affect the sale price, the market value.
Okay,
because
so
the
if you were,
purchaser would care about what they have to put into the property once they take it on.
right, so if you were to turn around and sell the property, then you wouldn't expect to get the money for reshingling the property back out of it again?
That would be fair to say, but again, it was listed as not to be included in this discussion on my invitation.
Okay, well, it has to be one way or the other. You know,
First time here, sorry, I can only go by what I was told.
all I'm saying is you can't have it one way for one thing and one way for another. I mean, either the shingles are an issue or the shingles aren't an issue. Right.
They're no longer an issue.
Okay,
I'm just trying to, again, say why my purchase price is different than your comparables.
right,
Yes.
okay. And have you done any other work on the house since you purchased it?
No major upgrades, just minor tweaks.
Which would be,
Installing a towel bar, things of that nature,
okay,
like just
like
small-
painting, that kind of stuff,
No,
so.
reattaching baseboards that had popped off, just minor upgrade work that hadn't been kept up with.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, no, so that sounds good. And you're saying the roof was reshingled for $2,000?
I did the work myself, so it was just material cost.
Okay. So $2,000 plus labor.
It was 1,000 to 2,000, I can't recall, but offhand, I don't have that receipt with me.
Okay, okay. And you're aware that the asking prices, or that your sale is post-reference, right? So that really doesn't have a bearing on the assessment, the 2019 assessment? The 2018, 2019 assessment
Yes.
is based on what the sales were prior to April 1st, 2016,
Okay,
okay? Your sale will be used to set the rates for April 1st, 2020.
so the assessed value will likely go down then in the
No,
future?
because it's not just based on your property, it's also based on other properties that are selling in the area.
The value is supposed to reflect the value of my property if it was sold.
Right, but we're a computer-generated model,
Yes,
which means that all of the sales take place, all of them are put into the computer, and the computer generates a model indicating an average or an overall value based on everybody's sales,
certainly.
not just your sales. So just because that's what you're sold for, doesn't mean that that's what,
It makes a lot of sense to use that model if you don't have a direct reference point. Or someone who's lived in a home for a long period of time, you have to use the estimation to the best of your ability. This is a reference point though.
but it's
So
not a
it should
reference
bring-
for it because it takes place after April 1st, 2016. Unfortunately, it's outside the reference period. That's why I was wondering if you had any other comparables or any other properties that sold in your area to show that that's more in line with the value that it should be.
I would have brought that information had the date range of that been indicated. Sorry, I do not have any other.
It was indicated in your letter. But I noticed you did bring in comparable sales, so you do know how to get a hold of the comparable sales.
Yes,
Right, but you brought in comparable sales from the 2012 to 2014 date.
only to establish the range of values that I feel the home would fall between for your assessed date range.
Right, so you didn't look at the sales between 2014 and 2016 while you were online?
Yes.
You did?
Sure.
Okay, and what did you find of the sales prices? They were,
I didn't spend a lot of time trying to figure out which properties were comparable. Though.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I didn't feel it was necessarily relevant.
That's the
I had a better
only-
source of data.
Okay, that's the only question I have.
Thank you. Ms. Pepper?
I have no questions.
Mr. DeLego?
No.
You had talked about crack in the basement or
Not in the basement, in the garage.
in the garage?
Yes,
Okay, did you,
I haven't been able to address that yet. So
okay, so how big of a crack is it or anything like that, is it?
It runs all the way across the pad, and basically the quarter to a third of the floor area sinks in one corner and admits water in the spring. The floor actually accumulates a layer of ice. I discovered this
What
past
was
week.
the list price, what they were asking on the house when
We
you?
listed it at $219,900. So,
$219,900?
Yes.
And that's what you bid?
yes,
Okay, and you were successful, obviously?
Yes.
Okay. Standard financing, I guess?
Yep.
You know, on appraisal and, you know, no problems that way, it came out, you know.
regular transaction. Yep.
Okay. I don't think I have any questions other than that, so either party want summation at all?
Yes, I would like a summation. The only evidence provided is a post-reference sale, which is not relevant to the reference period that we're speaking in. The appellant has brought in no comparable evidence to show that sales in this area of this type are selling for the same price he bought. His sale price could have been an anomaly. We don't have any evidence to that because we don't have any comparable sales. The comparable sales that I have brought in to support the value are very in line with what that area is selling for, and I feel that the $246,000 is a reasonable price, and I'm asking that there is no change to the value.
I thank you. Final word? If you like.
I like only that there's quite a variety of house properties values in the range. The next door is much smaller and lower value. So
All right.
it's
Okay, so leave it at this, and you'll get results very quickly. Thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you.
The last one of the dockets is Alex Taylor, so come on forward and get you sworn in, or affirmed, either one. 148, Alex.
Please state your full name.
And that's the last one
Swear the evidence
that we
you
have.
represent is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Please state your full name. And you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. Do you have any evidence you would like to share?
Yes. Thank you. Good morning to you, and you're aware of the proceedings, so we'll first hear from the assessor and then you can continue. Ms. Sharp?
Okay, before we begin, I would like to ask that under 53(3)(a) of the Municipal Tax Assessment Act, that the burden of proof for non-cooperation be upheld, which states where an appellant fails or refuses to give an assessor a reasonable opportunity to inspect the property, the board shall at the hearing of the application place the burden of proof on the applicant on all matters at the issue. I spoke with the homeowner on July the 27th and tried to set up a inspection of her home. She chose not to have an inspection of her home,
No.
said she was not available, and also indicated to me that she did not want to give me any information on the phone. She would rather come to the hearing and provide her information at the hearing.
Is this by way of a phone call?
Yes.
Any written documentation?
No.
No? Is it the normal procedure to phone the applicant?
Yes.
And normally you get a response from them?
Yeah, I did speak to her
Okay,
by phone.
yeah.
And she just said
Okay.
she didn't want it.
okay. Do they have do you have a right to inspect the house?
Yes,
Okay,
when requested.
when requested.
I did have a reason for asking for this. She
Okay.
purchased the home recently and it was in poor shape.
Okay.
And I wanted to inspect what the improvements had been on the property since it had been
Yeah.
purchased.
Normally, wouldn't you send a registered letter or something like that?
No, that's only for
Okay, for commercial.
multifamily, yeah.
Okay. So the normal procedures for residential is to make the phone call,
Yes.
and if they don't answer or response, what do you do at that point?
Send an email.
Send an email?
Mhm.
If they don't have a computer?
Uh,
You send a letter?
I wouldn't send a letter.
Okay.
We try to contact them 3 or 4
Yeah.
times, and if they don't
But I'm
return
saying
the call.
sometimes people don't, comply.
Right, so if they don't comply, then the
Okay.
proof
This
is
you're
supposed to go to
seeking.
them.
And so what is the penalty, the delay of Yes.
There is no penalty for this, it's
Okay.
only through multiple. The only issue is that they present first, and the burden of proof is on them rather than on the city. So they have to prove.
So like you said, there's no penalty.
There is no penalty other than they need to present first, and they need to prove it rather than me. They need
Okay,
to prove
this
the
reverse
value.
onus.
Reverse onus,
Okay.
yes.
There's
no penalty though.
Yes. Your defense.
Yeah, it was like during the week, about 12 o'clock, she made call to me. So, I'm picking to the phone in emergency, so I didn't know what happened. So she just followed questioning. I said, sorry, I'm at work right now in the front of my customers, so I can't answer any questions. If you want to inspect my house, welcome after 5:30, because, or Sunday or Saturday. It was right by the phone, right? I remember that.
It was by phone, yes.
Yeah, but I said you can come and inspect my house after 5:30 or Saturday or Sunday. Welcome.
Well, you
Was-
didn't say that, but you did
No,
say that you
no,
worked during the
this is
week.
not true.
You did
No.
say you worked during the day.
Yeah, but you can come after. No, it didn't work for me, you said. So, but works for me, right?
Right, but then when I tried to ask you questions and tried to ask you if we
Yeah,
could
but in
speak it.
front of my, so
Okay,
I'm giving
okay.
my word.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can't.
Okay. There is no penalties involved, except that I think what we'll probably do is we'll go outside the room and make a decision in regards to this, okay?
Okay.
So we can shut down just the voice, and we can adjourn, us three of us.
I just wanted to know if you can confirm that the applicant did say that the property was available to be inspected after 5:30 or on the weekend.
She did not say that. What she said is that she worked during the day, so she was not available during the times when I could do an inspection.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Okay. Now you can turn the camera off.
Sorry.
Unless you. Back to order, and the non-co-op issue will not be, it will be denied. So, Ms. Sharp, you will be presenting.
Okay. Okay, the subject property is 09010150700148 Alex Taylor Drive, located in 414 Canterbury Park. It is a one-story, single-family home built in 1986, 1,153 square feet, full basement finish, and it has an attached single-car garage. You can see a picture of the property, two behind the comparables. Yes. Perfect. It is located on a 5,000 square foot lot. This one? Yeah.
That one right there.
Yeah. 5,000 square foot lot. It is located on a bus route with light traffic, and it backs onto a park, which I will explain later. It's currently assessed at $284,000, which is $246.31 per square foot. Okay. The property is located in an area of Canterbury Park that backs onto the George Oliver Nature Park, which you can see from the map that I have attached behind. So it was just easier to kind of show a map rather than try to explain. So the subject property is at the top of that page in yellow. That's a subject property. It's located backing onto the George Oliver Nature Park. Okay. The comparable properties that I have found, one backs onto the park, one is across the street, which actually backs onto the east perimeter on the right-hand side of the page. Number 3 backs onto the Transcona Optimist Park, so it's a different situation. The subject is on a nature park. Subject number 3 is on a park, but that's actually the Transcona Park where there's a ball diamond and etc. Number 4 is backing onto the community club, again backing onto the Transcona Optimist Park Community Club. It's located just at the bottom there. The comparables are in pink. Clockwise from the top left is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So basically surrounding that area. Okay, so comparable number 1 is located at 62 Alex Taylor Drive. The property is the same age, same size, full basement finish. This property has no garage. It's the lot size is just slightly larger at 5878, has the same traffic influence as the bus, the light traffic, and backs onto the George Oliver Nature Park. That is the only comparable that I have that matches up to that property exactly for location. The second one is 255 Alex Taylor. It's again 1985, very close in square footage at 1150, full basement finish. It does have a detached garage that was built in 2006, so it is a little newer garage. Now this property is the one, as I indicated, is number 2 on the map, right to your extreme right. That property is across the street from the park. That's why there's a park influence on it. There's a bus route, but it has heavy traffic because it backs right onto the east perimeter. Okay, so that's why that property is coming in a little bit lower in price at $270,000. Comparable number 3 is 272 Alex Taylor Drive, and it was built in 87, slightly smaller at 1,068 square feet, full basement finish, single attached garage again. This is comparable number 3 that backs onto the Optimist Park. So the community club building Optimist Park and has, again, the bus and light traffic. This property sold for $260,000, which works out to about $245.88 per square foot. And comparable number 4 is on Corliss Crescent, and that is the one that's located right at the bottom of the page, number 4. It backs onto the Optimist Park again, the community club center building there. And Again, 1986, 1211 square feet, very close, full basement, basement finish. And again, this one has an attached double garage versus a single garage. And it sold for $328,000 in June of 2015. So the comparables are right in the area, but very different in their land associations. Again, comparable number one is probably the most comparable in size, location, and backing onto that park. The other three, again, very close in size, but backing onto a little lesser park. They all range in time-adjusted prices from $262,000 to $332,000, which works out to $237,16 for the property that's on heavy traffic, up to $274,90 per square foot for the property on Corliss. The properties are well supported by the comparables, and we are asking that you maintain the value at $284,000 for 2019 assessment.
Thank you. Questions of the assessor? No? Ms. Tapper?
I have no questions.
Mr. DeLego?
None.
I just noticed that in your comparables, 1, 2, and 3 are on the same street, which is great.
Right.
What makes comparable number 4, it seems to be a little high compared to your other ones, but I know it's got a double attached garage.
Double attached garage. The only other difference I could find is that the basement finish is the first 3 and the comparable, the subject and the first 3 are all running about 600 square foot basement finish, and that one's running about 900. That's the only difference I could find, so.
Does it back onto the park or something like that?
Like
maybe?
right at the bottom, you can see
Yeah.
in there, it backs onto the community center. It's not right on the road, but it backs onto the little piece of grass right to the south of the community center.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a better location, so I'm not sure why it
Mhm.
sold better, but, and it is a
Just,
little larger. Yeah, it's about 50 square foot
Yeah,
bigger.
but that's not gonna make,
No, it shouldn't make that big of a difference, no.
no. Okay, I thank you. We're ready for your presentation. You can take us through your presentation, and I see there's an offer that you bought, and it's post-reference because we're after the V-Day of April the 1st of 2016, so it's post-reference. But anyways, tell us what you think the value should be.
Can you explain?
Yeah, can I speak for my mom,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about market value, and what better evidence of market value than what it actually sold for a year ago? The house was sold for $250,000. It was listed originally at $280,000, but the price was reduced to $260,000, and then the final offer was $250,000. The house was on the market for roughly 2 months. So $280,000 with the assessed value of $284,000 is more wishful thinking than actual market price, as you see in the evidence presented.
So you're saying that the value should be $250,000?
Yeah.
And it was listed, like you said, 280 and then reduced to 260?
And if I remember correctly, Dave, my parents made an offer for $250,000, and which the owners accepted.
Okay. You haven't got any other sales in the reference year or anything like that? No?
No.
Okay. Ms. Sharp, questions of the appellants?
Yes, according to the MLS information I have, it said it was listed for 30 days on the market. Do you have evidence that it was actually on for 2 months? Or did you just hear
When,
that?
when did the listing, when was it listed?
It was listed on June the 16th of 2017.
Okay, and what was the list price?
$264,900.
Okay, so that's after it has been reduced, because the original price was 280. Original listing was 280.
Okay. I couldn't find any evidence in the MLS, so I don't know, maybe they had it listed privately or something.
No, I remember looking at it as well, it was listed for 280,000. So they must have taken the listing off and relisted it at the new price.
Okay, okay. In the listing, it indicates that there is great potential to redecorate at your own taste. It's priced accordingly. So my assumption is that the property is quite dated, and from the pictures I can see that it is. Can you tell us what updates you've done since you purchased the property?
Well, ma'am, in the listing it says redecorate, not remodel, and that's pretty much most of what was done. The carpet was ripped out and laminate flooring was installed, which is not an upgrade because it's not, expensive, fancy hardwood floor. It's more of a preference. Some people prefer carpet, other people like me and my parents prefer not to have carpet. So that should not be taken into account. A few windows were replaced. The total cost of that was $3,000. Labor
No,
was
not
no?
2,700 something.
27,
yeah.
okay. But, that's a functional upgrade, and as far as I understand the housing market, that really does not increase the value of the price other than the money that was put into it.
Okay, so those were the only upgrades that were done?
Well, the flooring wasn't an upgrade, it was just a matter of
Okay, so
of
those were the
preference.
only things that were done to the house since it was purchased?
Yes.
Okay, I took a drive by the house and I have a picture of the June MLS listing. And according to what I'm seeing here, it looks like you replaced the garage door.
Oh yeah, the garage door was replaced. Mhm.
Okay, and can you tell me how much that cost?
250, it was like price selling at home.
At Home Depot, they
Home
bought
Depot,
the
yeah.
garage door on sale for
Yeah.
$250, and I remember helping them install it.
Yeah.
Okay.
In October.
So $250, which I have a hard time believing you found a garage door for $250.
We have receipts.
Okay, and plus installation, okay? Now, when I was out there, there is scaffolding on the side, and it appears that there's new metal soffit being installed.
The soffit is PVC, but that is work in progress. That's why I haven't mentioned it, because it's not an upgrade that has been completed.
Right, but it will be completed by January 1st of 2019.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, so that's the soffit,
Yes.
okay? and
No,
how-
that's the fascia.
Or
And
fascia,
it's not
sorry.
metal, it's PVC.
Okay, and how much did that cost?
About $300, something like this, because hard to say. We have receipts.
Okay, and
They're
you're
safe.
installing it yourself again?
Of course.
Okay. And how much was the new laminate?
About
No, roughly, I think it was about $1,500,
Yeah.
because once again, they also got it on sale at Home Depot. It was clearance price,
Yeah,
like a buck a square foot, plus,
we have left like 1/3 of this.
yeah, it
bunch.
was, basically, they had to buy the whole thing or nothing at all, so they bought more than they needed, and they still have some
Mhm.
left over.
Okay, plus installation again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the work was done by us. But then again, I would like the board to note that this is not an upgrade to flooring, it's just a matter of preference.
Right. And the windows that you replaced, you said there were 3?
4, right?
Yeah, one small and 1, 2, 3, no, 4.
Yeah, 4
Four
windows.
bigger one. Yeah.
Okay, was about $2,700 and again plus installation?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I noticed the door is different. Was it just painted or has it have been changed?
The door was painted.
Painted.
Okay. Okay, and so you've replaced no bathroom fixtures, you've replaced no electrical, you've done no painting, you've done nothing in the kitchen?
Exterior painting, yes,
Okay.
but that's decoration, not,
Of course.
not
Right.
upgrades.
Okay. When you purchased the property, it indicates here, great potential to redecorate to your own taste. Do you feel that the fact that the property was dated and it had older carpet and it needed painting and it needed all this work, do you think that's why you paid less?
Yeah, I was buying like $24 for the painting.
No, that's not the question.
What?
Look, you paint a house in a different color and it automatically goes up by $30,000? No, that's
No,
ridiculous.
I'm not saying that, but when you purchased it, did you purchase it because you felt, or did you get a better deal because it was dated?
We feel, well, I feel they got a better deal because it was in the market a long time. And once again, the work done is not worth $30,000 as we've shown here.
Okay, but if you were to turn around and sell the property today, would you turn around and sell it for $250,000?
Oh, absolutely not. People want to sell as high as possible, but then again, I'm not a real estate agent to accurately appraise the value.
Right, but why would you sell it higher than what you purchased it at?
Because you want to get your money back and then some. You know, you wouldn't sell it for lower, right?
Right,
That's
but
just common
because
sense.
you've painted it and you put in new flooring and you've put in some soffit and you've put in some windows, and so those kind of costs you want to get back when you sell it again, right?
Yes.
Right, okay, so you would sell it higher now than when you purchased
But
it?
not for 284.
Right,
Yeah.
right, no,
Yeah, 5,000
Okay.
more, of course.
Yeah.
But once again, I think the $250,000 is a fair assessment of current value because of two things. One, the interest rate went up, and tougher stress tests have been mandated, so which makes it more difficult for people to get mortgages, and hence,
okay.
less people would be willing to or would be able to buy.
Right,
Yeah, we were looking that time for the house too, but was impossible. Bidding was 50,000 more even. We couldn't afford this, so
okay.
it was crazy.
So, just let me catch my breath here for a second. Okay, so you've been in the room for a while, so you've heard previous evidence about post-reference sales and why we don't use them? Like, you understand that your purchase in July of 2017 is a post-reference sale?
Can you explain that, please?
Post-reference means we have reference periods, which means that right now, setting the values for 2018 and 2019, we're using sales that take place up to April 1st of 2016. We're now setting up the rates for 2020, 21. They're in the works right now, and those will be on sales that were up to April 1st of 2018. So we always have what we call a reference date. In this particular case, the reference date's April 1st, 2016. So any sales that took place after that date are post-reference sales. They can't be used for this period, they're used in the next period, because we're trying to determine what the property would have sold for on April 1st, 2016, not today. We're trying to figure out what it would have sold for back then, okay?
So with the markets going up, with the real estate market going up, constantly, I'm not sure about the change this year.
Right.
So you're saying it would have been worth more in 2016 with the market going up, mind you, than in 2017?
No, I'm just saying that the conditions in the market, it could have sold for a different value, so that's why we can't look at it.
Well, if it sold for a different value, it would have sold for less because of constant market appreciation.
Not necessarily, as you said, there were other factors involved in it with the interest rates and everything like that, which were not in play in 2015. So that can affect the value as well.
What factors?
As you indicated, the interest rates.
But it was easier to purchase a home back then. They're making it tougher every year because
Right,
of,
so people would have paid more.
yes, but the housing market has been going up the whole time.
I know it's a very difficult concept to understand, okay?
I disagree with you. Like, if people would have paid more in 2016 than in 2017, then the market is depreciating, which is not the case.
Right.
So it would have been worth even less in 2016, given the market trends.
But unfortunately, assessments are set according to the Municipal Assessment Act, and the Municipal Assessment Act states that we have a reference date. Any sales that take place after that reference date are not used in setting the rates for that year. Yours will be used to set the rates for the coming years, but it was not used to set the rates for this year, this sale. And that's why we look at sales that took place in that period, and I've brought 4 sales that are fairly close to your house, 4 sales that have similar qualities, similar size to your house, and 1 sale, your sale, does not make a market. The market is made up of all of the sales that take place. And so I'm asking if you have any indication that other properties in your area were selling for less, selling for more like the $250,000 that you were sold for.
Ma'am, have you ever have you ever reduced the house price by $30,000 in assessed value? No, the city always assesses house values up unless some major damage has been done to the house. So, yes, you have your housing values in 2016, but it's not like the owners took a sledgehammer to the house and, beat the crap out of it. No, the house was in the same condition in 2016 as it was sold for in 2017. So I am just asking for you to use reason in assessing the
Well,
values.
I'm not the one who will make the decision. The board will end up making the decision, and it's up to the board to decide what they're going to do for the values, but I can only follow the law.
Mhm.
And the law states anything after April 1st, 2016 cannot be used.
Mhm.
So that's the law, unfortunately, and I can't change the law, and you can't change the law here today. So unfortunately, that's the way that it is. So because we can't use your sale, and your sale's 1 sale only,
Mhm.
so it doesn't make the market.
But the market value of the home is what it's sold for, not what you wish it would sell for.
Yeah.
That's what happened at the listing, the owners wished for $280,000.
I understand that
That's
it's
not
a
what happened.
difficult concept, but the only thing I can do is follow the law. But I'm asking if you have any comparable sales, if you have any information to indicate that other properties in your area are selling for $250 rather than the $280, that I have brought forward here.
No.
Or
no
do you have
indication.
any reason why these comparables wouldn't be comparable to your property?
Do you have pictures of these properties?
Just through the MLS, which I can't share.
Okay, so basically you can't prove that the properties are comparable either. All you go by is just square footage pretty much and land size. But there are many other factors as well, so I'm sorry, I'd like you to prove
Well, I
that
do take,
these values are comparable.
Yeah, that's
That these
comparable.
properties are
Yeah.
comparable.
Behind our backyard, we have muck, not
Yeah,
grassy.
yeah, it's not
Cotton
really,
grass.
it's not really a park.
It looks
It's more-
nice, yeah, on
More
the
of
picture.
mud with shrubs and, tall wild grass growing there.
okay. It's become more of a discussion than a question answer, so I'm going to turn it back over to the chairman to take over.
I thank you. Ms. Tapper, questions of the applicants?
I have no questions.
Mr. DeLego?
None.
Just a couple questions. I know it's post-reference. What condition was the house in when you bought it? Was it, in regards to
Yeah, you
what
can
was
do-
needed? What was needed? Like, obviously, some carpeting, some laminate flooring, some windows.
You can live in this condition. You
Yeah.
can live.
Yeah,
So it was not bad.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
So you never asked for an engineer's report or anything like that?
No, because the house, the foundation looked good, everything was sound, it was just, more a matter of preference, the paint was old because who knows when it was
80
painted,
years,
but.
yeah.
So would you consider, what condition would you peg on the house at the time? Average, poor?
No, it was average.
Average?
Mhm.
Okay, but just needed upgrading.
Yeah.
Okay.
The house,
Refresh.
the house was in good maintenance, like, the owners did the best that they could, but, the windows were old, they needed to be replaced, but other than that, the house was clean, the fixtures were, like, the kitchen was good, and, it's not like the cabinet doors
Still
were
have the
falling
same
off.
countertop, cabinets, everything.
Did you look at other properties on the street at all?
No.
Or,
No, we
This
were
one, you
busy.
like this
We
one?
work people, so
Okay.
we
Okay.
can't go and watch just.
Yeah.
No, but were there other properties being sold on that street that year?
No,
Yeah.
no.
okay.
Or when you were looking?
So, including sort of sweat equity and the material that was put in, how much would you say? Maybe 10,000? Maybe more?
Well, let's see, 2,700 plus.
Yeah, I know, I did
1,500.
sort of the numbers, et cetera,
Mhm.
and, like, but you were close to that figure.
Um,
Well, including labor, like if you
Mhm.
had to pay somebody,
Okay, well, I don't know what the rate for labor is, because, for example, a garage door installation, that's,
It probably cost you double. Like you paid $250, it probably
Mhm.
cost you another $250 for labor.
They
yeah,
spend
yeah,
all
because,
day.
Yeah.
well, we spent
Well,
all day,
yeah.
the professional installers do it in 2 or 3 hours,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Windows, that's done in 1 day, so by a crew of 2, so let's say labor.
But I'm just saying that, if you spend $1,000 for windows,
Mhm.
probably the labor is another 50%, or maybe even double,
Mhm.
So, windows are not cheap, I know that.
Yeah, so 2,700 for windows plus 50% for labor, you get what, 1,300
Yeah.
for labor?
Yeah.
So I disagree that it would be double, so let's say,
Okay, say
Um,
50%.
yeah, so
Yeah.
let's say, okay, roughly $5,000 in new, in refreshments, plus 50% in labor, so that's
Yeah.
7,500.
Okay.
57.5.
Okay.
I mean, sorry, 257.5.
So you figure the assessment should be approximately, what, 250 that you paid, eh?
Yes, well, especially if we're talking about a 2016.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, summation, either party?
Yes, I believe that the comparable sales that we have provided are excellent comparables. Given the area and the information and the specifics of this particular property, these comparables take into consideration the park, they take into consideration the bus route, the light traffic, they're the same size, they're the same age. Now, the MLS stated that the property has great potential to redecorate in your own taste, and it was priced accordingly. Now, that indicates to me that it was priced lower because it was in poor, dated condition. From the information that the appellants have given, most of those dated issues, the painting, the flooring, the windows, the garage door, those types of things have all been remedied. They don't exist anymore. There are no conditions that we can see as far as foundation according to the appellants. So the appellants have already remedied any condition that would have rendered the property to sell at $250,000. And on top of that, it's a post-reference sale which cannot be used. So I'm asking that we have no change to the 2019 assessment at $284.
Thank you. Final word?
Also, there are, it's inaccurate that the basement is finished and one extra bathroom is finished. The basement was really made to look like finished, just to get that check mark, so there's nothing done on the basement. And the partial
No
bathroom,
ceiling, no.
the partial bathroom in the basement, it was poorly done just to, get that check mark for a full bathroom, but it's actually unusable, which hasn't, and they also haven't done any work on that bathroom either.
And we don't have ceiling, so we don't have carpet, just cement.
Yeah, so the basement is partially finished and one partial bathroom is unusable.
All right, leave it with us, and you'll get results very quickly.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming this morning. Have a good day.
Thanks, you as well.
Okay, we'll deal with the recommendations, I guess, Tanya.
Okay,
Okay. Jameson, 297,
yes.
you can state for the record.
Okay, subject property 02000318000297 Jameson. The recommendation is to reduce the 2018 assessment to $89,000 to reflect condition and April 1st, 2016 market value. The recommendation was accepted by the homeowner by phone on August the 15th of 2018.
Okay. Can you state for the record what it came down, the original? And then
Okay, the original. Changed from the 2018 assessment roll was 94,000, recommendation to reduce to 89,000.
Maybe the reasoning?
Oh, yes, based on condition
Okay,
and the April 1st market value.
okay. You okay, Val? Okay. Good. Assessor, 183 Assessor,
Okay.
same thing?
Subject property 04000944100183 Esser Avenue. Recommendation to reduce the 2019 assessment from $332,000 to $310,000 to reflect the condition and the April 1st, 2016 market value. Recommendation was accepted by Mark Legault by email on July the 30th, 2018.
Any questions? No? Okay. Kimberly, 177.
Okay, subject property 02011362000177 177 Kimberly Avenue. Recommendation to reduce the 2019 assessment from $300,000 to $275,000 to reflect the characteristics and condition and the April 1st, 2016 market value. Recommendation was accepted by Anna Charlick by email on August the 13th, 2018.
All right, thank you. Meadow Lake Drive,
Okay, subject property 09006142400134 Meadow Lake Drive. Recommendation to reduce the 2019 assessment from $304,000 to $280,000 to reflect the condition and April 1st, 2016 market value. Recommendation accepted by Diana Wilchenko by email on July the 26th of 2018.
okay, Val. All right. We'll go to Fair Place,
Okay.
number 18.
Okay, subject property 040023575000 18 Fair Place. Recommendation to reduce the 2019 assessment from $476,000 to $443,000 to reflect the characteristics and April 1st, 2016 market value. Recommendation was accepted by Tony Weed by email on April the 8th, 2018.
Thank you. Griffindale Bay, oh, no, that's okay, sorry. Martin Avenue West, 442.
Okay, subject property 1408091100 442 Martin Avenue West. Recommendation to reduce the 2019 assessment from $111,000 to $89,000 to reflect the condition and the April 1st, 2016 market value. Recommendation was accepted by Leo Lamwerts by email on August the 10th, 2018.
Thank you. And Lorette Avenue,
Okay, subject
1091.
Okay. Subject property 12-02-0463-100, 1091 Lorette Avenue. Recommendation to reduce the 2019 assessment from 184 to 165,000 to reflect the characteristics and condition of the property and the April 1st, 2016 market value. Recommendation accepted by Leo Landwards by email on August the 9th, 2018.
I thank you. Tanya, thank you very kindly.
Thank you very much.
That's a long.
A lot of talking.
Yes.
I don't even